here at Empower Field at Mile High, where the Broncos knocked off the Buffalo Bills to advance to the AFC Championship for the first time since the 2015 season. But we have to start with news that we just heard. Head coach Sean Payton announced that Bo Nix will be out for the season after fracturing his ankle in the last minutes of overtime.
Yeah, Sean Payton came back to talk to the media after the Broncos' 33-30 overtime win and announced that Bo Nix's season is done. He will have surgery to repair the fracture in his ankle this week. Jarrett Stidham will be the starter against either the Houston Texans or the New England Patriots next Sunday in the AFC Championship game. Sam Ehlinger will be the backup quarterback. Obviously, heartbreaking news for Bo Nix, who we'll get to in a second, but he was just wonderful, masterful in this game. They don't win this game without Bo Nix, and so Sean Payton said it happened in the late stages of overtime, and again ends up fracturing that ankle. He will have surgery. He's done for the year, and so an emotional blow for this team. You have the high of winning an overtime game, and then some of these guys learned as Sean Payton was speaking on the podium that Bo Nix was done for the season. And so the Broncos will have to find a way to bounce back from this emotionally, more than anything. And Sean Payton did say that, hey, we'll mourn this for a little bit, and we'll feel for Bo, and we'll be there for him. And then we're going to get ready for next week, and we're not done. And again, he believes that Jarrett Stidham is ready for this opportunity. He's talked about how he believes that this team has had several quarterbacks in their room that are capable of starting for other teams, and Jarrett Stidham is no different. But Jarrett Stidham Stiddy will be the one leading this team next Sunday against either the Texans or the Patriots. But just kind of a tough story to have to share with everybody after such an exciting win.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough blow to this team, and our hearts definitely go out to Bo Nix and a very speedy recovery from him. But what a game that he put out there. I mean, he definitely laid it out all on the line to get this team to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, and Sean Payton said it after the game that he made the plays. He was terrific when they needed him to be. He said this team wasn't necessarily ready last year. They were ready this year, and I think Bo Nix was a big part of that. He delivered time and time again. He converted big third downs. He made some big-time throws. The Broncos are trailing with basically 4 minutes to go by 4 points against the reigning MVP on the other sideline, and it's like, hey, you've lost a 13-point lead. You've got to find a way to put all that behind you and go win a football game. And he leads the Broncos down the field, throws a beautiful touchdown to Marvin Mims to go ahead, and then when the Bills come back, you go 3 and out in overtime. He gets a second chance and leads another game-winning drive. He joins John Elway as just the second quarterback in franchise history to throw 3 touchdown passes in a win. He was terrific. Guys made plays. Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, they stepped up, and this offense made plays when it needed to, and then on the other side, the defense was fantastic. Yeah,
the defense is definitely fantastic. 5 turnovers from this team, and definitely an emphasis that the coaching staff had been preaching all week long, really all season, to really get those turnovers, especially in big playoff moments.
Yeah, I mean, J-Mac, his interception, Sean Payton said you might not see a play like that for a decade.
Yeah.
And he ripped it away from Brandon Cooks. I think he said after the game, I wanted that ball more. And for him to make that play, which if Brandon Cooks catches that ball, the game is over. Buffalo's leaving here. The Broncos season is over.
Yeah.
And for J-Mac to make that play was incredible. P.J. Locke has an interception. Nick Bonito has a pair of forced fumbles, including a strip sack. There was a moment at the end of the first half where the Broncos score in the 2-minute drive, and then Nick Bonito knocks the ball free from Josh Allen. The Broncos had 3 more. They get 10 points in 22 seconds.
Yeah.
And Sean Payton said after the game that was kind of the defining moment of this football game. But 5 takeaways overall. The Broncos 7 in the last 2 weeks after really struggling for most of the year. But it can change in the playoffs, and they don't win tonight if they don't force those 5 takeaways. So Josh Allen, terrific as he always is.
Yeah.
He made some plays that just leave you shaking your head in terms of how you're supposed to stop that. But the Broncos defensively made just one more big play.
This Broncos team has always talked about next man up, the resiliency. They've been masterful in one-possession games, one-score games this year. What can you say about the guys that stepped up, especially when guys go down at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, you're right. The Broncos lose Pat Bryant early, Troy Franklin early. You're down to 3 receivers. You kind of know those are the guys you're rolling with the rest of the game. And Marvin Mims, for example, who has not had probably as many opportunities as maybe some of us thought he would this year. He comes out and has a fantastic game and is, again, a reason they win this football game tonight. And you're right, people stepped up, and we'll see them step up again next Sunday in the AFC Championship game. But this was just a resilient group, and Sean Payton talks about those hurricane strength windows and being wind resistant and being able to stand up to that storm. And there were some moments there where it looked a little iffy, right? Where the Broncos, instead of being up 13, they fall behind by one. The Bills are driving, but they get that big third down stop to force a field goal. In overtime, it's get a stop or your season's over, and they find a way to get an interception. And so this team has been so resilient, and like you said, they're going to have to be more resilient than ever now without Bo Nix. But I wouldn't count them out just yet, knowing what this team has, knowing what this coaching staff provides, and excited to see them move on and host an AFC Championship game next weekend.
If there's anything you know about this team, it's the fact that they will continue to all root for each other and continue to lift everyone up as they make their quest to the Super Bowl. Once again, the big news coming out from postgame is that quarterback Bo Nix will be out for the season with a fractured ankle as the Broncos move on to the AFC Championship here at home next week.